Let's get it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's good? What's good? As y'all already know, this is the Brainz podcast. We got my man BE31 in the building. Our guy, One Trey Rock. You know what I'm saying? And yours truly, Tone the Shills the second. Man, look, we appreciate y'all for locking in on this live stream. Make sure y'all smash that like button. Really helps the content grow. Really helps everything get everywhere and helps everyone see everything.
What's good, beautiful people? As y'all already know, this is the Brainz podcast. And y'all know who we are. We got the big brother, BIRDGANG 31, One Trey Rock, and yours truly, Tone the Shills the second from Chalk It Up Sports. We coming at y'all live, man. And look, we know y'all got a lot of options right now. We know y'all can go anywhere to get y'all filled. But we thank y'all for coming to this table. And best believe it's plenty plates to go around. So, fellas, like I said, man, we was talking offline about so much stuff going on. But before we dive too deep, people, make sure y'all like the video. If y'all haven't already, make sure y'all check the links below and subscribe to BIRDGANG 31. Also subscribe to BIRDGANG Nation Sports Network, One Trey Rock, and myself at Chalk It Up Sports. The love is always felt, and we're going to continue to spit that hot fire regardless of who wants it and who don't. We coming at you full force in your living room. So,
Yes,
fellas, man, oh man, today has been an interesting day for the Philadelphia Eagles. The offseason in general has been interesting, or for lack thereof, right? But let's talk about the most immediate news that made some people cry, made some people cringe. Barnett has been re-signed by the Philadelphia Eagles on a 2-year deal. So I know I'm laughing, but I need to know where y'all heads at with this, because I'm hot and cold about it, and I just want to check the temperature with y'all, and then we'll go from there. So BIRDGANG, you want to start us off, man? How do you feel about
I actually want to hear. I told you backstage. I want to hear what Trey got to say about this one. I want to hear what Trey got to say, because I feel like you guys see me and Trey go back and forth, but I think this one might be different. Let me hear what he has to say about this first, and then I'll go on there.
Okay.
I know it's gonna be kind of unpopular, but I'm not really that mad about it. I mean, it's like we could have picked up another pass rusher, but I mean, I feel like Barnett is a solid rotational piece, if anything. I mean, it just depends on what the numbers look like. We can't be paying this dude no $10 million a year. So, I mean, I'm not too angry about it. I mean, I just don't want it to be an excuse for us to not go draft a pass rusher. As we all know, we got 3 first-round picks, man. I feel like we should at least grab one pass rusher on those picks. And I just hope this pickup right here, doesn't sway Howie away from that, because Barnett is a rental. He's really a rental dude right now. I mean, that 2-year contract is really a 1-year contract. So, I mean, I'm not too sad about it. I just hope that we don't ignore the pass rushing in this draft, to be honest.
Yeah. Hey, we're on the same side. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's very rare that we are on the same side, my guy. And I am definitely all aboard. Just like, yes, I thought he wasn't coming back, to be honest. I thought he wasn't coming back for sure. You know what I'm saying? I was like, it's probably his time to go. Free agency's gonna come. But the longer free agency went, and I seen like nothing was really happening with Derek Barnett, I thought, man, he's probably coming back. But I know a lot of people are gonna hate on it, but at the same time, it's a good move. You know what I'm saying? People want all these players to go. I know people don't want Nelson to go. I know people don't want Barnett to go. I want all these, but this is year 2. You know, everybody can look at year one as a learning experience. You know what I'm saying? Like the coaches were learning, the players were learning. Everybody was kind of learning and figuring things out that first year. Now you bring some more key veterans, like you go get a Pascal. You know, we're gonna talk about him later, who already knows the system. You bring him in. Then you bring back guys like Barnett. You know, Barnett's everybody hated the first 6 weeks of Barnett this year. He cost us 2 games for facts. You know, those late penalty in the Tampa Bay game, and I think he had a late penalty in the Kansas City game, if I'm right. You know,
You're right.
so everybody
That was the Chargers game.
Chargers game, yeah, Chargers game. So
Yes,
everybody
it was the
hated
Chargers
on
game.
Yeah, everybody hated on Barnett for that. But really, after that, he played some pretty decent football. He wasn't like horrible. He didn't, you know, you want to see more from a first round pick, of course. But going into this transition, having familiar faces in the right spot, I think that's a good thing for the Eagles. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't mean we can't go draft one of these, you know, first round DNs. That's only going to bring more firepower to the, you know, to the team. So I think that Derek Barnett in general, you know, it's a good bridge piece, basically. That's why it's a 2-year deal. It's a nice bridge piece. You know, you got a guy that's consistent, you know. You go get one of these young guys, you hope they'll take his spot, you know, because you never know what the draft could be a hit or miss. You know, these players are touted to be these superstar players, but when they get in the league, sometimes they don't all blossom, just like Derek Barnett, for instance. So we can still go get one of these first round ends and, you know, mold them into he don't have to worry about coming in, starting, being an impact player right off the jump. You know, he can just be a nice rotational piece. And eventually throughout the season, you know, maybe trading deadline, we get rid of Barnett and this guy takes over. But for right now, I think it's not that big of a deal. He didn't cost that much money, and I'm cool with it.
Yeah, it's funny because when I saw it happen, initially I was like, damn. But in the same breath, I wasn't up in arms because, like you said, the contract is really a low risk, high reward type of situation. Like Trey said, it's a 2-year deal, but we all know that's he on a year-to-year basis, and they can cut ties with that contract at any point. And knowing how he performed these past 2 seasons, he's not warranting any sort of large commitment by the Philadelphia Eagles. Like if you think about it from this perspective, right? Derek Barnett in the past, and if I'm not wrong, in the past 2 seasons, he's only accumulated 7.5 sacks. That's unacceptable.
Facts.
Unacceptable, right? But like I said, low risk, high reward situation. But I kind of looked at it like I kind of looked at it from this perspective as well, and why he came back. Think about it. Howie Roseman drafted him with like a top 15 pick, right? I think he was picked 13th overall, 14th overall, something like that. Mm-hmm. And Howie Roseman is someone who has a lot of pride, has a lot of ego. He moves with the aura of arrogance, right? And he's the kind of person to make a move to save face, to validate a decision he made in the past. Right. And if I'm being honest, that move to me, because let's be honest, he could have went in free agency and found any pass rusher if he was going to bring him back. You could have probably found a pass rusher that was more hungry. You know, they probably had a little bit more to prove, so on and so forth. Granted, they brought him back because of continuity purposes. You know, he knows the system. That's the one upside of bringing him back. But let's be honest, they brought him back because Howie Roseman wanted to validate that first round pick selection. He wanted to validate that investment, and he couldn't risk allowing that man to go the entire free agency without being picked up, because that would make his first round investment look that much worse. You know what I mean? So that's kind of the perspective I looked at it from. I looked at it like he was trying to save face, and it was just a move to just validate a decision that he already made. Now, like you said, BIRDGANG, I don't think this move should stop us from looking at any sort of pass rushers in this draft at all. Yeah. You know, as a matter of fact, you know, your boy Teron Jackson that we drafted, who's to say he won't take a step forward and, you know, outmuscle Derek Barnett, you know, outside the rotation. You know what I mean? So Derek Barnett, in my humble opinion, he was drafted in the first round, but based off his contract and based off he already lived off that. He already lived off first round potential. He lived off it already. Now you're on your second contract, a 2-year deal. Now you just a guy. In my opinion, you can get beat out by anybody. That first round stamp on you is no longer valid anymore. That got you this 2-year contract. Now you just a dude. Anybody can take your job. So we should definitely not stray away from trying to get a guy in either the draft or maybe picking up a guy post-draft and free agency. You never know who may become available. But Derek Barnett clearly was just a safe move, and that's pretty much what this offseason has really been this entire time. The only leap of faith we took in any way really was Hassan Reddick. And was that really a leap of faith? I mean, he had 2 years of proven production, so that's not really a leap of faith. But outside of that, everything we've done has been strictly in-house, and that's why when I made the thumbnail, I had to ask: Is the Eagles offseason doomed? Like what do you guys think about the moves thus far that Howie Roseman has made, or the moves he's made lack thereof? Because I got to be honest, there are moments where I've questioned his commitment to Jalen Hurts. There's moments I've questioned his commitment to actually trying to win. I have so many questions really, and we're honestly not getting enough answers. So, Trey, you want to lead off and just speaking your opinion about everything that's been going on thus far in this offseason with
Howie? I look at this as like to be honest, this is a 2 to 3 year thing. With us getting rid of a Fletcher Cox contract, bringing Derek Barnett back for 2 years. I mean, I feel like Howie Roseman on right now, his mind is try to win now, but also try to get younger. So, I mean, we wasn't aggressive at all this offseason. I mean, that could be a good or a bad thing. Who knows? I mean, because we did have a solid football team. We didn't have an awesome, a great, outstanding football team, but we had a solid football team with solid football players. And, I mean, adding Hassan Reddick, that's a move that can help you be more of a winner. But, I mean, we watching our offense in front of our eyes make a leap from year to year. So, with us not bringing in like a polished wide receiver, that's Howie Roseman having trust in the receivers, the backs, everything he have now. Now, I do feel like we still need to get younger on the defense, like way younger and more experienced. And that's kind of hard to do in one all season. I mean, unless you're gonna go out and get like a Bobby Wagner or something like that. But I mean,
can I push back just a little bit?
Go ahead.
So about the wide receiver part you brought up, one side of it, you're right. You could say that his lack of moves can indicate that he's trying to show trust in guys like Quez Watkins and him taking that next step and maybe obviously bringing in Zach Pascal. Can't he take his career to another level? He's trying to show faith in these guys on cheap deals, and obviously Devontae Smith, he is who he is. We know we're gonna get from him. He only can get better, but the same way how on that side of the things has faith in those guys. On the other side, his lack of moves going after these wide receivers can that also indicate that he doesn't have as much faith in Jalen Hurts to get them the ball?
That's hard. I mean, because if you trust your quarterback, I mean you gotta trust the people around him. So with him being with Arthego Whiteside still be on this team, with Rager still be on this team, I feel like there's more of a Howie Roseman hoping these dudes just break after a while. They just break. They just get better. They just break. I mean, we don't really see that happen too much in the NFL, but it can. I mean, Steve Smith was a dog. He didn't get on the field till his 3rd year in the NFL. So, I mean, it's hard, bro. It's a leap of faith, but I mean, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I mean, you don't really get too many Cooper Kupps, dudes like that just come in and just set the league on fire. So, I mean, sometimes it take remember old school football. When you drafted a rookie, you never expected them to just be a dog right off the rip. You expected them to develop. It's just all the guys that's coming in now, the Justin Jeffersons, Jamar Chases, dudes like that. It just make you crave for those kind of guys, and it don't always work like that all the time. Like people hate Jalen Rigger right now in Philly. It's crazy, bro. Like this dude, but this only his 3rd year in the NFL. It's like why
every time he go live, bro. Every now and again I pop him on his lives just to see what's.
I'll be watching them too. They be giving him hell, bro. I'm like, Levi, get out of the city. I'm like, come on, yo.
I'm like, damn.
Y'all supposed to be uplifting this dude. Like, I mean, he's gonna be on our football team. He's going to be on our football team. No matter if y'all like it or not, he's going to be here. So, I mean, if he's going to be here, why not try to make him feel a little bit more comfortable? Like some dudes, you got to look at Jalen. You got to look at Jalen Reagor in his life. It's like Jalen Reagor from a small town in Texas. He always been the man everywhere he went. TCU, high school. I mean, it's different in the NFL, especially playing in Philadelphia. If you don't,
it's funny you say that because TCU was in Texas, Texas Christian. He didn't leave. He never left Texas.
Yeah, he never left Texas.
That's a good point you brought up. That's a real good point you brought up.
Yeah, you got to look at it. Some dudes gotta get comfortable in their environment. Just like Nelson Aguilar, he never left California until he came to Philly. He was the man. He was the best athlete, best football player everywhere he went. Everywhere he went. Literally, high school, college. He was the best football player everywhere he went. Some dudes can't handle that. Some dudes would be happy going over there and playing for the Jets because they don't really got that much pressure on them to win nothing. We just won a Super Bowl not too long ago. We trying to get back there. So, I mean, that's a lot of pressure on the dude, bro. And I mean, you're a professional now. You're supposed to live up to it, but sometimes you can't follow the path some of these dudes followed. Like a Jamar Chase, for instance. That dude came in and set the league on fire this year. Like on fire. Yeah. Justin Jefferson, he came in 1,800 yards, 12, 13 touchdowns right off the rip. Now you got to follow up with these dudes.
But those guys are a little different.
A lot of pressure on this dude. A lot of pressure.
Those are a little different because they came into the system that already had elite players in a spot. You know, Adam Thielen was a Pro Bowler before, you know, Justin Jefferson got there. You know what I'm saying? Diggs. You know, Boyd was a Pro Bowler. You know, Higgins was a good rookie that came in already before Chase got there. So the pressure of them coming in and being that star right off the jump wasn't even really there. You know, they come in relax.
They had to come.
Reagor, we had no receiver at all. Like you were supposed to be that guy.
Yeah. You know it's funny you say that, BIRDGANG, because like Adam Thielen, that's the interesting point you brought up because not once in Adam Thielen's career has he had to be the guy. He's always been next to Stephon Diggs or Justin Jefferson. So he's never had to be the guy. How many wide receivers do you think in this league, if they had to be the guy and there was nobody else to throw to, would they still do what they do? Case in point, Juju Smith-Schuster. But go ahead.
Imagine how Devontae Smith feel.
Julio gone. What happened?
Imagine how Devontae Smith feel, bro.
It still gave you 916.
And got to be our number one wide receiver, bro. That's a lot of pressure on one dude.
Yeah, it is. But to his credit, he definitely wasn't afraid of it. He been used to being put up there and that, you know what I mean. But I get your point though, for sure.
And what people got really realized, dude, is last year was the beginning of the rebuild year, right? We had a lot of young players on offense. You know what I'm saying? Like, we didn't really have that much money to make moves. We had a lot of young players, and we still made the playoffs. You know? All there is development from there. You know what I'm saying? It was the first time in schemes. It was the first time these players are out there playing together, you know? And they still were able to make it to the playoffs. That's a big deal. There's teams that have been together for years that don't even go to the playoffs. You know, there are 16 other teams that didn't even touch the playoffs last year. So people got to really pump your brakes a little bit and realize year 2 is always better than year 1. You know, what you say about Jalen, that's what I say about Jalen. Year 2 is going to always be better than year 1. I know it's the 3rd year, but it's the 2nd year starting. You're going to get better. That's what development is. You're giving these guys time to understand, correct the flaws they made. We've seen the leap. I know Trey's going to talk about this with Quez, because even though he didn't play, but the fact is he wasn't good enough to play that year. And he came back and got us 600 yards last year. So what do you think he's going to do this year, moving forward? He's still out there. We still see the videos of Quez out there busting his butt, running routes, doing things like that, running with good receivers, trying to pick up their brains and get better. So you don't think that Quez is going to get bigger? Everybody keeps talking about how Jalen missed all these receivers, all year long, right? And he did miss some receivers. What do you think is going to happen this year now that Jalen got that tape to look at? Now that he can study that tape, he's not going to miss these receivers. Guess what? These receivers aren't really as bad as maybe we're, making them out to be, So I feel like last year was kind of that first step for everybody, the coaches, the players, everybody to get acquainted with each other. Now let's see what we can do together now that we got a year on. Everyone's starting from year 2, where they got a whole year of film to check and correct their mistakes and go out there. Even the coaches go out there and correct their mistakes and get the pieces you need. Hassan Reddick was a huge pickup. We seen the Avery role last year. Avery was a part-time role. I believe that role becomes a more extended role with Hassan Reddick, because he's a pass rusher, and that's what he does. You know what I'm saying? He gets after the quarterback, and that's a huge upgrade. The whole Barnett thing is, like I said, he's a bridge. Either you're going to come ball out, or we're going to draft the first-round pick, and he's going to end up eventually taking your spot throughout the year. So I think the Eagles are not as bad as everybody thinks they are. You know what I'm saying? I don't think, year 2 to me is like so huge. It's the jump. We seen what Herbert and Driscoll, when we threw Herbert and Driscoll in 2 years ago, we were like, these guys are bums. You know what I'm saying? We need our offensive line back because these guys are not doing it, right? But then we threw Herbert and Driscoll in last year, and then we didn't skip a beat. You know what I'm saying? That's called development. That's time, game experience. The only way you can get better is by playing, and these guys played and showed that they can get better. So I don't see why the rest of these guys couldn't do the same thing.
No, the only thing about that is we see what other teams are doing. That's the only thing about that with Philly. You get me? Like dudes going here, all this movement, and Philly just sitting on their hands. I don't think it's that they don't trust in this team. I just feel like they feel like other teams are getting stronger than us. That's what it is.
But
that's where all the panic is.
Veteran teams, that missing their pieces. They're veteran teams already, and they're missing. But we had young bucks. You know what I'm saying? Like, look at our offense last year. Name more than a second-year starter on that, besides your line. Goddard's only been a couple of years. Miles Sanders only been a couple of years. Devontae Smith was a rookie. Quez Walker was second-year player. Rager, second-year player. We had a lot of young bucks. So the development stage is still going on with these guys. You know what I'm saying? Like, for me, it's like just like the whole thing of why I don't believe we should ever even think about getting rid of Jalen. It's because you got to let him progress. If you cut it off now, you're going to be doing that the rest of your whole franchise's career. If you only let a quarterback play 1 year, he don't be that guy, and you go get a new quarterback, guess what? He's going to come in and not be that guy too. And the next one's going to come in and not be that guy. And it's going to continue a trend that we're going to be in, and we're going to never have our guy.
So, it's funny you say that, right? Because as much as you see this new NFL we in, teams can't really afford to wait 4, 5, 6 years to develop a quarterback, because of the simple fact that these guys are on these 4-year rookie deals. And think about Baker Mayfield in perspective, right? He is in his 4th season and going into his 5th, and they're already trying to off him. They got Deshaun Watson now, but they're trying to move him. Why? Because he hasn't shown that he can take them over the hump. And now you got some people that probably said, well, you got to give him some more time. He's still learning the offense. But the problem becomes you got to pay that man at some point. And when he's not that bad, but he's also not great either, you're stuck in this area where you're forced to make a decision that can either hurt you in the long run or help you. It's easy to make the decision when somebody's clearly not the guy. When someone's just clearly weak. It's also easy to make a decision when someone's clearly that guy. Joe Burrow, case in point, he's going to get his contract. Herbert is going to get his contract. So these organizations, they're constantly put in this situation where, okay, like perfect example, let's use Jalen Hurts right now. Even though technically that was his first year starting this past season, he's going into his 3rd season. At the end of this season, his agent is going to be looking for a contract extension for that young man, rightfully so. And let's be totally honest. Based off everything we know about that young man so far, he was able to bring a team to the playoffs as it currently stands. You got to think about it from the perspective of his agent. His agent going to sell it. His agent going to look at it like, look, Jalen brought y'all to the playoffs. He helped y'all get through a turbulent Carson Wentz situation. He was a stabilizer. He was a leader. He provided balance. He provided stability. He provided continuity. They're going to try to sell the hell out of him. And based off Jalen Hurts' play, he's definitely going to get a $20 to $30 million contract just based off the market, right? But here's the problem: when you tie up so much money at that quarterback position, it makes it hard for you to make moves everywhere else. So when you're so unsure if someone is the guy or not, it's like, damn, do I really want to commit this money? Because if he ends up not getting that much better than what he is now I'm stuck.
Now you stuck
And
with him.
So it's like, so yeah, you wanna hope for the best of Jalen Hurts, and I want to make it very clear. I want Jalen Hurts to exceed all expectations. I want Jalen Hurts to be that bull. I want to make it very vehemently clear. I want Jalen Hurts to be great. So don't take nothing I say as hate. Don't take nothing I say as me not believing in this man. I believe in him to the fullest. I'm still carrying it strong. My only thing is, we saw what we saw this past season. Okay, he showed us some good things. He showed us some not so good things. He has flaws in his game that he has to improve on, most notably in the passing game. And as we all know, once you get into those playoffs, teams are going to start limiting your run game. You got to throw that pill. Most of these games are going to be won or lost within a possession. There may be a game or a possession where Jalen Hurts got one drive. It's a minute and a half left on the clock. You ain't got time to run the rock. What you gonna do? You got to throw that pill. You got to fit it through the keyhole. So the question becomes, hold on. So the question becomes, can Jalen Hurts improve enough to the point where he can win those games for you? Can he have that game-winning drive with his arm? You know, and I'm not saying he can't get there, but I'm just waiting for it to come. And I'm going to be patient because we have no choice but to be patient. But we also got to look at it from the organization's perspective is, okay, this man entered the third year of his contract. If he don't prove it this year, we got to make a decision.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I've said like he's done that too in game. We've seen him throw us into some games. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not like he hasn't done it. He needs to do it more consistently. You know what I'm saying? He needs to be a better passer. Yes, you know. But even like on the terms of what you were talking about, I use a different example. Even on this whole Barnett thing. Remember Brandon Graham? You know, Brandon Graham was a first-round pick. Brandon Graham, like in his fourth year, everybody was like, this guy's not starting. You know, he was riding bench for a whole year. I know everybody like Chip Kelly did it, but he was riding bench. He was not the Brandon Graham that we all love today. You know what I'm saying? Like the development side of football is being overlooked by far. And even with Jalen Hurts, like,
but to combat that, he's a defensive
first year.
But to combat that. That's a defensive end position, a position that's much more expendable than the quarterback position that you don't really have to commit that much to the defensive end position. The quarterback position has a higher degree of ramifications. Would you agree on that?
At the same time, though, like you said, even if he does have a good season this year, you're looking at $25 million. The top quarterbacks get paid $40-50 million. So us paying
$29 million is the salary cap. That's not salary cap. That's the franchise tag. $29 million. Yeah. That's the league average. So,
but I'm saying like around there. But you got to realize next year the salary cap's going up dramatically. The year after that, the salary cap going up dramatically. So that money in terms of like, you know, the whole spread, only those top like 5 to 7 quarterbacks are the guys that are really hurting their teams in the league. The rest of these guys are getting good contracts, kind of like the Brady effect, where Brady took, you know, he was still making bank, but he took a little less. He didn't have to be number 1 to 5. You know, Brady was cool being like number 6, number 7, because he knew that leave a team with enough money to build around you. And I feel like that kind of contract.
And a lot of these quarterbacks are doing that. And I'm with you on that, right? But a lot of these quarterbacks, Brady is one of one. A lot of these quarterbacks are not taking those. A lot of these quarterbacks, they ain't taking those shorts. They're not taking those shorts, man. Like perfect example, Patrick Mahomes. It's the reason Tyreek Hill got traded, and we're gonna talk about that too, because that leads to another topic of Devontae Parker. It's the reason Tyreek Hill got traded. It wasn't like they didn't offer him a contract. They offered him a contract. Right. His people was like, hold on, wait. Devontae Adams just reset the market. I'm putting numbers on the boards. Listen, I'm going to the highest bidder. Miami, perfect fit. He going home. He lived there in the summertime. It was a great situation for him. He already got a Super Bowl ring with the Chiefs, but that's another point. My overall point is my overall point is though, when you dedicate a lot of money to the quarterback position, it strangles you in terms of what you're able to do. So when you're dedicating that much money to the quarterback position, what you're saying is this guy can cover for the deficiencies that are going to exist. And I'm not sure if Jalen Hurts is there yet where he can cover deficiencies.
But the difference is that you're saying, Tone, compared to these other quarterbacks, Patrick Mahomes won a Super Bowl on his rookie contract. You know what I'm saying? Russell Wilson won a Super Bowl this
and that's every organization's goal.
On their rookie contracts.
And why do you think the Chargers and like the Chargers are making these moves? The Bengals are making the Bengals are making these moves. They understand the fact that we got to pay these guys at some point, but they know without a doubt their guy is that guy. Mm-hmm. Us, on the other hand, we still don't.
But we also got to take into account that Jalen Hurts' agent is smart. He don't know how many contracts this dude gonna get in the NFL, especially big ones. So that first one, they going all out for that. I'm not even gonna lie to you. They going all out for that. I mean, dude, Jalen Hurts was in some people's mind, he was an MVP candidate for what he was doing with his legs and his arms. He took us, like you said, he took us to the playoffs his first year. Bro, all that counts. All that counts when you come to the table. Oh, you offer him this contract, this dude did blasey. And them talks not going to go too good. So, I mean, like I said, it's only Jalen Hurts' third year, but this is a big year for this dude, like a huge year. Now, if he come out here and he pee the bed, I mean, he did that to himself, bro. He did it to himself, but I mean, if he come out here and ball out, that dude is gonna want some paper. I don't care what nobody say. But he's gonna want some paper. He ain't taking no team-friendly deals. He don't got no ties to Philly. He's not taking no team-friendly deal. They're gonna try to pump out all the paper they can. So, I mean, it's a double-edged sword at the end of the day.
Yeah, right. But I just feel like even with that, like you said, this is the year you worry about Jalen. Like I even said, if Jalen go wet the bed this year, then I might not be as strong as a Jalen Hurts fan as I was. You know what I'm saying? Because I just feel like he's not. No one really has the right to say if this dude can do it or not.
Understood.
Last year was just last year, his first year actually starting that whole NFL season. You know what I'm saying? No quarterback, even Patty Mahomes, the guy that just got the $500 million contract, told everybody it took him 3 years.
Which is just kicking in this year.
Yeah, told everybody.
And that's why Tyreek Hill not there. But go ahead.
That it took 3 years for him to learn how to read defenses. He just had elite talent around him. He had a Tyreek Hill. He had a Kelsey. You know what I'm saying? He had Sammy Watkins. He had Hartman. He had a lot of skilled position players to help him through his struggling growing pains. Jalen don't have that.
But we still don't got none of them players, though.
That being said is, these guys are young.
We still don't got none of them players, though. That's what I'm saying.
No one knows how big of a jump Quez is going to take this year. No one knows that. No one knows if Rager, because his skill is there. His mental was Rager. He just got out of his own head. You know what I'm saying? Like, Rager made plays for us throughout this year, a couple of them, and then the year before he made a couple plays. It's just he's too into social media and worried about what everybody's talking about him. You know what I'm saying? Like, you get this guy therapy, and maybe he comes out and plays some football. If he realizes what's real and come out and ball out, then we're not having this conversation no more. Because we got nice young people. That's what I'm saying. They're all young. You got 22, 23-year-old kids on a professional football team making millions of dollars. Some of these guys aren't going to come in and ball out, period.
Can I ask y'all a question? Can I ask y'all a question real quick? Can I ask both of y'all a question? And then Trey, you can answer first, and then BG, you hop right in right after. So, like we all see all the we see all the free agent movement. We see all the trade movement with these wide receivers going left and right. Okay, so let me ask you this, because we got cap flexibility. We got assets to make a move any kind of way we want for the most part. Let me ask y'all this: do y'all think this organization believe in Jalen Hurts the way we do? And I say that because if, like y'all said, these young quarterbacks, these organizations, they know where they have a quarterback, so they're making every move possible to make sure they got a chance to get their guy there to the big game. But Howie Roseman has not made any moves to show me this season that he believes Jalen Hurts is the guy. He hasn't made any significant investment in an offensive talent, an offensive weapon that shows me that I want to give this guy the best chance of being successful. And that tells me a lot, in my opinion, how he sees Jalen Hurts right now. Not how we see him, not where we see him trending. I know he's going to get better. That's a fact. But Howie Roseman clearly doesn't see Jalen Hurts as the guy, at least right now, because if he did, you would have seen him go after a guy like DK right away, or go after a Devontae Adams, or just make a move because he trusts that the quarterback can get the job done with those guys. You get what I'm saying? Because like you said, Patrick Mahomes, he had these talented guys, right? And they helped each other, do their jobs, to the fullest ability. But Howie Roseman has not made an investment indicating that this quarterback is the guy. All he needs is some pieces around him. You get what I mean? So my question is, like, based off the moves Howie Roseman has not made, is that signifying that Howie Roseman doesn't necessarily believe Jalen Hurts is the guy right now?
I mean, I can't even say that because you gotta see like prior years how Howie Roseman operated. He never really went after the big dude. So, I mean, he brought us Alshon Jeffrey. Alshon Jeffrey was kind of in the declining stages when he left Chicago. I mean, always injured, never really could finish the season, stuff like that. Torrey Smith's career basically was over at that point. He never really, and they believed in Carson Wentz. He never really gave him no top 5, top 10 receiver. So, I mean, I don't feel like it's going to be different with Jalen. He's going to force this dude to actually prove he can be an NFL quarterback. I'm not going to surround you with all these weapons and stuff like that because I'm going to focus on what I want to focus on. Defensive line, offensive line. That has always been how we roll it. Why you think we never really addressed the linebacker position? Because he feel like you can win without really bringing in a stud at that position. He feels like you can win without actually bringing in a stud at the wide receiver position, a solid, serviceable wide receiver. And it don't always work like that. So, I mean, I think that's just more Howie Roseman thinking because I feel like they trust Jalen Hurts. They trust him because if they didn't trust him, they wouldn't have drafted him that high. No, you just paid your quarterback a boatload of money and you get a quarterback in the second round. I think that's just more Howie Roseman and how he thinks. I don't think it has nothing to do with how they feel about Jalen Hurts, to be honest.
Facts. I agree 100% with you, man. And we did try to get some people. We got outbid it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to look at what Kirk got. We got to look at what these guys got. Like, they got, like, number one type money. And Hulk was never going to do that. You know what I'm saying? It goes back to what I said, too.
So that begs the question. Is how we cheap?
Super. He's not cheap, though. He's just
smart,
cheap.
Kinda.
He doesn't spend money in places he don't feel like is important. He's not cheap because he'll pay a Fletcher Cox a boatload of money. He'll pay a Lane Johnson, Kelsey a boatload of money. He'll pay those kind of dudes, Derek Barnett. He'll pay those kind of dudes a boatload of money. But when it comes to the wide receiver, linebacker, running back position, Howie Roseman feels like he could get due with serviceable players. And it doesn't work like that in this NFL. He's going to have to change.
Because the wide receiver position, the wide receiver position is starting to supersede the running back position. Remember back in the day, the running back position was the great equalizer. Now it's the wide receiver position. These wide receivers are getting paid big time money because teams are understanding that it's about the quarterback and the wide receiver. If you got a star quarterback and star wide receiver, you could damn near beat anybody. And Howie Roseman, I can't give him a pass to a certain degree because he's invested so much draft capital in a wide receiver. He understands the value of a wide receiver. He's invested so much draft capital there. So that kind of blends into he wants to your point, he wants to get serviceable guys, but on the low end pay scale. And at some point you gotta pay to play.
But he's also doing what we want him to do in the first place. Let these guys develop. We can't argue about what these people need time to develop, but then we want to go spend all this money on people because that's not going to get them developed. You're going to get number one receiver. Guess what? That bumps Quest to 3. That's less reps for him. That bumps Reagan to 4. That's less reps than the guys you did bring in the first place. You know what I'm saying? I know I was saying that we need another receiver too, but at the same time, you got to understand too that the development process has to come. How are you going to really judge these guys when it comes payday if you never really watch them play? You know what I'm saying? Like, you're giving these guys chances to be stars. Like, you go get a PASCAL, that's a good 3. You know what I'm saying? When he was with Nick Sirianni putting up almost 700 yards, he had 15 touchdowns. You know what I'm saying? Like you heard in his press conference, he's hoping to get more. He's not some super old veteran that just ain't never been nothing. He's still pretty young. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's been in the league, 4 or 5 years. So he's just now hitting his stride. And like he said, he talked to Nick Sirianni all last year, even while he was on another team, because he knew Nick was that guy that brought the best out of him. So what about weapons? Like, you gotta kind of let it grow. Like I said, like I feel like a lot of these players just gonna need this year. Like that's how you're
What
gonna
about
be
the consumer though? What about the consumer? Like, and I say that because look, I'm in the city, right? And people spend a lot of money on these games. People spend a lot of money to see their team win. People spend a lot of money to see their team make decisions that show they care about winning. And at what point do we got to start? At what point do we got to start looking at ourselves like, yo, are we dumb? Are they playing us right now? Like, I understand what you're saying. Guys do have to develop. You got to give guys a chance to develop. But when you see a guy available that can take your team over the top or make your team better, why not? Why not make the move? I
Bro,
don't.
it'd be different. It'd be different if we. It would be different if we were. I mean, at that position, if we were the Steelers actually develop wide receivers.
Because they're good at drafting them.
They're good at drafting them.
If we're like a
Howie
team,
Roseman is not good at drafting wide receiver, bro. He's not good at drafting that position.
So if he know that, why keep drafting him? Why not? Why? No. Listen, Devontae was a slam dunk. You can't mess that up.
You can't.
But all right. I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said it because look, if he know he that bad at drafting him, why you keep drafting him? Why not get a free agent? If you know you that bad, if you know you that bad,
wait. We all thought that we were going to have $40 million going into this offseason. Everybody was like, at the end of the season, we're going to have all this cash back. People got to realize all those extensions that we gave roll into this year, meaning we don't have a bunch of money to just be throwing around. We're not Miami sitting there with $68 million under the cap.
That's another Howie Roseman problem, though, BJ.
No, it's not because we were $70 million over last year. He brought us to get us to the point that we are now. And we re-signed young, good talent on our team.
So how we get in that situation, DJ?
DJ Chark signed DJ Chark signed a 1-year deal with Detroit. You mean to tell me you come on? DJ Chark signed a 1-year deal with Detroit. You mean to tell me you can outbid Detroit? We was just we were just on DJ. Listen. Pause. No homo. We were just on DJ Chark Wood all season. Told you we got to get him. Now all of a sudden, is he a game? We ain't asked that question until just now.
But I'm saying, like, a game changer or not? If he's not, like, you gotta realize how he's playing a smart role. I think we're gonna go draft the receiver because I was looking at all these. We can get a good receiver in the first, the second, the third round.
But how much is that gonna help us win this year, though?
That's what I'm saying. How much stock can you put into a draft?
But listen, if you see what we said about Chase, what we said about Jeffries.
They're outliers.
There ain't none of them in this draft, though.
Let me finish what I'm saying. They had some good receivers ahead of them when they come in there where they don't have to come in and be the star. Devontae Smith is a star receiver. Like I told you last time, they're not trying to get a guy better than Devontae Smith. They want Devontae Smith to take that crown. You know what I'm saying? They drafted, that's their prize jewel that they drafted last year that they want to be the star receiver for Philadelphia. Now they're going to bring talent around him, but we all looked at Quez Watkins. Like, imagine if Jalen doesn't miss on all these so-called misses that he did all season. The reason why everybody wants him out of here in the first place. That means that these guys were wide open. That means that they do know how to play football. That means that they are possibly can go into having a better year this year.
With all due respect to Smitty,
you see how much you understand how much bringing a great veteran receiver in will do for this young crowd.
No,
because bro, even with us saying that right there, that take pressure off Smitty. That take pressure off Quez, Rager. Everybody can eat in a kind of offense where you got that number one dude or even that number two dude that. I mean, you got to double team Devontae Smith. You got to double team this dude. That leaves we don't have we have one wide receiver, reliable wide receiver. To be honest, one reliable one. I mean, we barely targeted Quez Watkins.
But once he open or not, those who have to say that we only have one is to just go ahead and neglect the fact that you're mad at Jalen Hurts for missing Quez Watkins so many times last year when he was wide open.
I mean, I'm not gonna say so many times though. He didn't miss a lot of dudes like every throw. He was just missing people. No, he missed on some throws that he should have hit. But at the end of the day, like you said, these wide receivers is young. It don't matter if it's second year, first year, third year. You bring a rookie in, how much is that going to help Jalen Hurts' development? Not at all. You need somebody that's going to help him walk along that path. I mean, bringing the Allen Robinson in, the DJ Chark, one of those dudes, they already veterans. They've been around the block a few times. So they know where to be. You work on that chemistry. I mean, Smitty, he's a polished receiver already. He came into the league polished, basically. So, I mean, it's different, BG.
I'm just saying,
you got two
drop
dudes
the first round receiver.
on your
They're
fourth,
just as
your
polished
third,
as Smitty
fourth,
was
and
coming
fifth.
out.
That's
You got to
really not
remember,
gonna give you
Smitty
nothing.
wasn't even the best player on Alabama. Waddle was.
Who?
Waddle was. That's why Waddle had more yards. That's why Waddle produced more. Waddle was the best player in Alabama. Smitty was
What do
number
that
2
mean?
guy.
That don't even make sense, BG. That don't got nothing to do with what we talking about.
Yes, it
It's
does.
like,
You're saying,
bro,
if we can't go
you gotta
plug
look
and
at who
play
this
a
dude
first
set
round
behind
draft
though.
pick, and they come in and make noise. Smitty came in and made noise. And you're like, well, Smitty wasn't supposed to come in. He's polished. Well, what about Wilson? What about Olave? What about Drake
We force fed
Devontae
Devontae Smith the ball because that's the only one we had. We
definitely force fed him. You want to know how I know we force fed him? We force fed that man. Listen,
Rager.
Listen.
Devontae
Smith. Listen, Devontae Smith had the most targets on the team by a large. Listen, Devontae Smith had 104 targets. You want to know what the next? You want to know what the next player was that had the next amount of targets? Dallas Goedert, and he had 76.
Force fed.
We force fed that young man, and guess what? Guess what the yard difference? Guess what the yard differential is between Dallas Goedert and Devontae Smith? It's only 86 yards. So we force fed him, and we ain't do nothing with it.
But a lot of those force feeding came in those first 6 games where we're throwing the ball 40, 60 times a game, 40, 50 times a game.
It don't matter. We still force fed him.
Jalen wasn't ready for it. You know what I'm saying? Like, Jalen's going to be ready for it this first beginning. I believe that we can come out maybe with the same game plan that we came in the beginning of this year. But you couldn't do it last year because he wasn't ready for it last year.
Well, here's the thing.
And when he first came out, he wasn't ready then to take up the 40, 50-yard passing games. You know what I'm saying? That's why we struggled for 6 games.
Well, let me tell you this, though, right? Let me tell you this. At this point, the league got a whole season on him now. So he got to come in and take his game. He got to come in and take his game to another level. Let's move the conversation. Let's move the conversation forward, right? So, Jalen Hurts. What is a good season for Jalen Hurts? And I want to try to focus the conversation a little bit. I don't want to talk about what he does running the ball because we know what that's going to look like. We know how dynamic that is. I want to talk about from a quarterbacking perspective, pure quarterbacking perspective, throwing that rock. What are your expectations for Jalen Hurts coming into this season? I'll tell you mine first, and I'll let y'all rock. For me, so I can know Jalen Hurts took that next step to indicate that I can put trust in him going forward beyond this season, I need 4,000 passing yards. I need at minimum 30 passing touchdowns. And I need him to complete 65% of his passes. If he can do that, I'm with it. I'm with it. Because you want to know why I need 4,000 passing yards? Because the top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL this past season completed threw for over 4,000 yards. When you get to the 11th ranked quarterback, which was Matt Ryan, 3,000, and everybody below that is 3,000 in that 3,000 range. It's a reason why it's the top 10 quarterbacks. It's the reason why throwing for over 4,000 yards is important because it puts you in that top 10 conversation. After that top 10, all the other quarterbacks threw in the 3,000 range. When you get to number 1 through 10, 4,000 yards and higher. So that's why I need to see Jalen Hurts go from 3,100 passing yards this past season to 4,000 passing yards and 30 plus touchdowns. Because look, 16 passing touchdowns and 9 interceptions not going to cut it. It's just not. I don't care how much you shake and bake. It's not going to cut it.
Let me go.
I agree.
That's good.
Go ahead, BJ.
I see Jalen as a 5,000 guy.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying 5,000 pass yards, just 5,000 total yards. I don't really separate.
You have to. You have to. You have to.
You don't have to. You don't have
You
to.
have to. You have to.
You don't.
You want to know why? Because when you get to the playoffs, all that running is irrelevant. It's irrelevant.
When you get to the playoffs, if you got a good offensive coordinator, you can call the right plays, period. Everybody knows that
Lamar Jackson got to Lamar Jackson got to go offensive. Lamar Jackson is arguably Lamar Jackson is arguably one of the most dynamic quarterbacks in the NFL. He got a great offensive coordinator. He ain't got a playoff win yet. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like, no, I'm saying like Lamar Jackson. The running aspect.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm saying like this. You asked me what I see Jalen Hurts being a good quarterback next year. I'm saying 5,000 yards because I thought he should have did it this year, and I thought there was opportunity for him to do it this year. 4,000 yards passing, close to 1,000 yards rushing. He almost hit 1,000 yards rushing.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And he's all in the 3,100 yards. But I feel like there's a lot of yards left on that table. You know what I'm saying?
It is.
From penalties, from drop passes, from a lot of things. There's a lot of yards left on that table. If that's his first year, you're able to make that mistake. I don't think he's going to make that mistake going into year 2. And I'm hoping our receivers don't drop and make those mistakes that they did going into year 2 too. Because it's not just all on Jalen. It's some of it was on the receivers. You know, if they catch a lot of these things and they don't, understand the rules and get some of these touchdowns called back, we're not having this argument about is Jalen Hurts the guy or not. You know, he just had a good first-year starting quarterback. We look for better things next year.
Of course.
Like Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz didn't light it up his first year starting. He lit it up his second year starting. That's when he went into their, MVP candidate, freaking balling out of control. You know, it's the second year that you got to grade these guys off, but you can't be doing it in the first year. I don't think no one should ever get that much slack in your first year starting as a quarterback.
No, I don't think I'm giving him slack. But what I'm trying to get across is, okay, got you. Got you. My bad, got you.
That, to me, like you can't. We all watched the games this year, and yes, he missed throws, but yes, he made throws too. That dart to Goddard with triple coverage, and he fucking, he caught the ball like he got it in there. You know what I'm saying? The Giants game when you suck all game, but at the end when it matters and you put your team on your back and you take it down the field, you make the touchdown throw 3 times that were dropped. Once by Ward, twice by, Rager. That's 3 times you did what you were supposed to do to win that football game. And that's at the end of the day, that's what really matters. It's winning the game.
Yeah, but I think I know what you're talking about, that Giants game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot led up to that moment. We shouldn't have been in that situation, but that's another conversation. Overall,
people ignore that though.
Yeah, like
no, but the point of that, I don't ignore that. Well, yeah, he messed up the first half, but I also know that the defense kept us in the game. And at the end of the day, people have bad first halves. Second half, he came out and he balled out and he got us in position to win the game. That's the part that matters.
He didn't ball out in the second half. He had one drive where he moved us down the field for real.
2 drives.
Yeah, one drive.
First drive, Ward was the target for the touchdown, and he dropped. The second drive, when he threw that deep ball to Rager, he missed it. Then he came back to Rager when they moved down the field a little bit, and he dropped the second touchdown.
But what about all those platters he was throwing all game, though?
But that's
throwing platters all game.
What we want, what a quarterback is no matter what kind of game you have, and you're still putting your team in position to win. And he did it 3 times.
We blew the Giants out, bro. We should have blew them out.
I would probably feel that. I would probably feel that way if it wasn't the Giants. It was the Giants. We should have. We should have cooked them like a Christmas ham.
We should have.
They scored 1 touchdown that game, and the rest was field goals. They scored 1 touchdown, and that was off that interception.
I'm still saying, like, that shows something, man. That shows still. You're having a bad game. How many other quarterbacks have bad games still put their team in position to win the game? Not a lot. They sit back. Oh, today was a bad day. I'm just going to chill out the rest of this game. And they don't show no kind of fight back. We've seen Jalen have that fight back all year long, whether we won or lost.
No, I get it. I'm not taking away his intangibles. He going to always fight. That's who he is.
Right.
But that's not quantifiable, right? We got to talk about what the end result is, and how we got to talk about the whole package, right? And like I said, he showed us a lot of things that we can get behind. And he showed us some things that made us scratch our head. So I need him. And again, this is all about what we expect him to do. And I got the utmost belief in him. My question will always be,
but no one should expect him to be elite in year one. That's the first part. No one should expect him to be elite in year 1. Why?
Elite,
understood.
No quarterback ever been elite in year 1.
it's difference between elite and just like just
Yeah,
being
he wasn't good. He was
good
Pro Bowl
quarterback.
alternate. He was Toyota Player of the Year.
He
So
was
it wasn't
serviceable.
bad that he wasn't good. He wasn't great.
He was serviceable.
That's more backyard football though. That's what got him them numbers. I mean, the dude he was running all over the place. You can't get mad. He made some plays with his legs and
And then when we say he doesn't stick in the pocket, he stuck in the pocket towards the end of the season. When we say all he does is take off the run, he took off and didn't run. He just took off to buy more time to make plays downfield. So you see the develop
in all honesty, he was standing in that pocket because that ankle was hurting.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, and then he still didn't look comfortable back there at times. So the bottom line is though, we're definitely expecting him to take that. Listen, I'll be honest. I know for a fact Jalen Hurts, he wants to win. He wants to win from the pocket. He wants to, and I don't deny that. You know what I'm saying? He want to win from the pocket. The question becomes, can he take that next step in terms of his pre-snap? And let's be honest, 70%, 80% of the quarterback's job is one pre-snap. And that's where he got to improve the most in the pre-snap. And if you can't get it done in the pre-snap, once you hike that ball, you guessing. You guessing. Listen, these top tier quarterbacks, they know where they're going with the ball before the ball even hiked.
Because they've been in the league for years, though. They all would tell you they didn't do it in their first and second year start.
But you gotta look at dudes that are doing it though. You gotta look at Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow. You gotta look at them dudes.
So why are we expecting this from Jalen Hurts? It's my thing. Like you said, these top tier quarterbacks, none of them they'd come on TV and tell you straight up they didn't know what the hell was going on the first 3 years.
All right, Joe Burrow, he couldn't. I couldn't tell. Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow pre-snap was immaculate. They was reading. So I can't just say here second year, third year. I can't just keep giving that excuse because I seen guys doing it.
Anonymously, there's always one guy. Herbert still struggled. Y'all act like Herbert was some super elite quarterback. He was good. He had a lot of bad games too this year. All the quarterbacks had bad games.
Even Herbert rookie year, you can see it in him though. Even Herbert rookie year, Burrow rookie year, you can see that what kind of football players they were.
Burrow only played like 3 games.
Bro, Herbert threw like over 5,000 yards, man.
Huh?
He played like 6 games before he got injured.
Okay.
What you talking about, bro?
He didn't play that long. I know that much. You know what I'm saying? Like, and he wasn't lighting it up his first 6 games. It wasn't like complete fire.
He played 10 games. He played 10 games before he got hurt. And at that point, he had threw 13 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. He was completing 65% of his passes. And then the following year, he completed 70% of his passes.
Year, bro. He was a dog his rookie year. I'm trying to tell you.
How many interceptions? 5.
He only had 5 total. 9 the whole season.
In a 17-game season?
Listen. Herbert had 13 touchdowns in only 10 games. Whatchamacallit? Hurts had 16 in the 17-game season. Let's make it make sense.
It's a different scheme, man. He had more talent. Of course you're going to do that.
Okay.
Don't mix it. One of the best running backs in the league. Tyler Boyd, Pro Bowl receiver that year. Higgins, a great first-round pick. Come on, man. Don't compare apples to oranges.
You're not comparing apples to oranges, though. He still got to make those throws, right?
If you got better talent, you're going to make those plays better.
No, that don't mean that.
That means a lot.
Don't mean that.
That means a lot.
It's a lot of quarterbacks making. It's a lot of quarterbacks making some of these guys look good.
Receiver talent didn't mean nothing.
But perfect example.
Why do we need a receiver, guys?
No. Look. Perfect example.
Now you got to say
the Denver Broncos got 3 wide receivers that can start on any football team.
Who?
Trash play. Denver Broncos. Trash.
Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy, and Hamler.
Yeah, and Hamler.
And Patrick. What's the boy name? Patrick Johnson, something like that. Tim Patrick. Tim Patrick is his name.
So Jerry Jeudy. Cortland Sutton is a top 10 wide receiver.
What did you say?
No, Cortland Sutton is the real deal.
He's a top 10 wide receiver.
He's still a young buck. He only was drafted last year.
Yeah.
He hadn't done no all-world numbers yet. He hadn't put up Waddle numbers yet. He hadn't put up Chase numbers yet. Jeudy is still in development. He was hurt. So you can't say that these guys are supposed
How you a development if you hurt though? When he was on the field, he was making plays though, wasn't he?
I would
say so. Yards that Judy had his rookie year.
His rookie year? Let me look it up real quick. I got you. Jerry Judy. Because he did get hurt last season, right?
Yeah, he got hurt last season, yeah.
All right, let's look it up real quick. It ain't going to take long. All right, so Jerry Judy. Okay. Oh, okay. So, and remind you, Jerry Judy wasn't, I don't think he was the number one either in 2020. All right, so look, Jerry Judy, his rookie season, he had, it's crazy actually. He had 52 receptions, 856 yards, averaged 16 yards a catch, and he had 3 touchdowns. He played 16 games. So those are pretty decent numbers.
All those games, he only got hurt for one game, or he didn't get hurt for one game.
No, he played in all 16 games his rookie season. And 2021 he only played in 10 games.
Okay, what did he have last year?
This past season 2021 in 10 games.
Year. That's not a Chase rookie year. That's not a Jefferson rookie year. That's not even a Devontae Smith rookie year.
But he had Cortland Sutton in front of him also. And he had a bad quarterback. He had a bad quarterback also. You want me to tell you how he had bad quarterback? You want me to tell you how he had bad quarterback play? Because he had 113 targets.
Damn.
And only 52 catches. There's no way he dropped all of them. He didn't drop all of them. Like, come on. And that was the rookie year. Because keep it real. He had 52 receptions in 2020. In 2020, it's Drew Lock.
Yeah.
Bro.
Yeah.
Yo, Jerry Judy gonna eat this year with Russell Wilson, bro. Cortland Sutton ain't gonna eat.
I'm not saying Judy's not good. All them Bama boys are good.
They are good. You're right. They are.
Smith sat behind all them dudes. That's what I'm saying. He's gonna be great in this league, man. Mm-hmm. We gotta get this dude the football in the right places. Listen.
I'll be honest with you. If listen, I'm gonna keep it a buck. If Devontae Smith was on the Chargers or on the Bengals, he would have had like 1,200 yards, 1,300 yards, easy.
Devontae should have had over 1,000 yards this year on this team.
Absolutely.
The beginning of the season, Devontae, do you not remember those games that he couldn't get off double coverage? It was early.
Let me put you like this though.
Listen, I'm not hating on Devontae.
No. I know you're not. But hear me on this, right? He had 64 catches on 104 targets. You mean to tell me he dropped 40 catches, 40 targets? 40,
but he had.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like
he has a big drop too, though.
Look, all right.
Season, he has a big drop too.
Out of those 40 missed targets, I'll probably say he dropped like maybe 10 to 15 of them.
Okay. Now, how many yards you would have got with those 10 to 15 when you ended up with 16 yards? You would have got over 1,000 yards.
Yeah, but what about the overthrows? What about the overthrows? What about the come on, that's still gonna count for 25 targets. Waddle, let me double check. Hold on. This is funny. BG, I love you, dog.
I think Waddle had over 100 catches this year.
He did. He broke the rookie record for receptions.
Yeah, Waddle was the beast.
And that's with Tua. So Tua a better quarterback than Jalen Hurts?
Hell no.
A better pure quarterback? I would have to say that.
Last year.
Hold on. Waddle had 140 targets on 104 receptions.
Damn. Of 100 what?
140 targets with 104 receptions. So 36 of his targets didn't make it to him. But you got to remember, Tua like the Miami Dolphins offense last year was the dink and dunkers all year. Uh-huh. They was dinking and ducking. Like Tua didn't throw a pass.
Played that whole season. Brissett was a quarterback for a while.
Tua didn't have a pass over 20 yards, 30 yards last season. Like
what?
Yeah, they were talking about it all year. How he didn't have a pass that went past like 30 yards or something like that, something like that. But all right, so Tua
catches are like screenplays and slams.
All right, so Tua only played 13 games. Oh, damn, Tua need to get that health right. All right, so he only played 13 games this past season. He completed 67% of his passes though. But here's the issue: he had the same amount of touchdowns as Jalen Hurts, but he only played 13 games. But he had 10 interceptions, so he was turning the ball over at a higher clip. But if he would have played all them games, he definitely would have had 2,653 yards. And he only played 13. He only played 13 games.
He only played 13 games.
But 2000 what?
2021, this past season.
That's garbage.
He only played 13 games.
Who cares? Jalen only played 14.
No, Jalen played 15. He played 15. He played 15 games.
2 more. He got 1,000 yards in 2 games. More than him. Come on, guys.
It's about
1,000 more yards in 2 games.
Actually, it's about 500 yards.
Jalen had 31, almost 3,200 yards passing this year.
He had just over 3,100, and then Tua had 2653. But here's the problem though. Here's the thing that stick out to me above all else. You know, we got to understand that Tua was dinking and dunking all season, so that's why his numbers ain't really that high, which is on him. But also his accuracy is 67. He's so far based off these numbers, he's more accurate than Hurts.
But that was the offense, though. If y'all ever watched the Dolphins' offense, it was get the ball in your receiver's hands and let them make plays. That was the offense.
That's why they went and got Tyreek Hill, because it fits what they're doing.
Yeah, that was the offense.
Like, you don't think a lot of those passes Jalen was inflated when he wasn't even ready to throw them?
Bro, if you could throw the ball to your receiver 5 yards, you could take it 20, 25. Why not?
He had the whole stadium tell him to run the goddamn ball.
Devontae Smith should have had over 100 receptions.
He was still freaking passing the ball.
Devontae Smith should have had over 100 receptions this year.
He should have had at least 80. At least 80. He should have had at least 80.
Dallas Goedert said, "Please run the ball." All your top receivers came out and said, "Please run the ball."
They said run
the ball.
No.
That wasn't the receivers. That was the defensive guys. They were saying run the ball.
No,
they were saying run the ball.
I wish we ran the damn ball. Goddard, we need to run the ball more.
No, Devontae said because you know why?
First 4 to 6 games.
And why was they saying that? Why was they saying that?
Because you can't throw the ball 50 times a game and win a football
because
game.
Hurts couldn't get the pill through the keyhole.
Nobody can throw the ball 50 times. Brady
simple
don't
pass,
throw the ball 50 times a
BG.
game.
We couldn't complete a simple
pass.
pass.
50 times a game. Burrows don't throw the ball 50 times a game. None of these guys throw the ball 50 times a game.
That's not true. Tom Brady was throwing that ball 50 plus times regularly. Regularly.
No,
we had to throw it 50 because we was down.
We threw 50, but not on a regular. We were throwing it every
nobody throws the ball 50 times per game on a regular. Nobody does that. That's just not normal. You know what I'm saying?
You only do that when your team
no,
is down. You got to throw your way back into the game.
We wasn't throwing the ball 50 times every game.
Getting down early. Going 3 and out at the 3 and out at the 3 and out. Now we
all right, let's settle this right now, real quick. Let's settle this right now because we wasn't throwing that ball 50 times a game every game. Let's settle this right now. So look.
Go to first 6 games.
All right, look. As a matter of fact, Jalen didn't throw that ball 50 times per game, not one time.
Not one time.
I'm like,
look,
40.
No. Look. I got you. Look.
40.
No. He cracked 40 once. He cracked 40 once, and it was the Chiefs game.
One time.
But listen, here we go. Game 1 against Atlanta, 35 times. He threw the ball 35 times, and we're not going to talk about the completions. We're just going to talk about how many times he threw it. That was arguably his most accurate game. But actually, technically, it was the most accurate game. But anyway, game 1, Atlanta Falcons game. He threw the ball 35 times. San Francisco, he threw the ball 23 times. Week 3, threw the ball 39 times. Week 4, threw the ball 48 times. Week 5, 37 times. Week 6, 26 times. Week 7, week 7, 34 times. Matter of fact, I'm gonna do the math. Just keep talking, y'all. I'm doing this math right now. I'm adding it up. No, I'm adding it up. I'm adding it up.
He was not ready for it. That's what I'm saying.
You're a quarterback. You're supposed to be ready for it.
No, you're not.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
Ready for getting touchdowns. It don't matter how you get up. Okay.
Hey.
Jalen got 20 touchdowns, okay?
BG got the most excuses ever, man.
That's what his argument started from. He had 16 touchdowns, and Jalen had what? 26?
He was averaging 35 attempts a game, 34.5 to be exact, but we rounded up. So he was averaging 30. He was averaging 35 attempts a game before we started running.
You got to look at the game in context too, though.
And right, we was down.
We was
Yeah.
down. What you think we gonna run the football if we down 2-3 touchdowns? That don't even
We
make
weren't
sense.
even running football then.
It don't matter. We had a lot of opportunities to score.
Go to the same games. How many rushing attempts did we have?
It was bad.
For Jalen or just in general?
In general.
All right, hold on. Give me a second.
All I'm saying is you need to run a ball that can open up the pass. That's a
No, you're right. No, you're right. You're right. We didn't have balance. We didn't have a balance. Listen, we didn't have the balanced attack. You're absolutely right about that. We did not have a balanced attack. But overall, though, you know, like they did put a lot on his plate. They expected him to be a little bit better than what he was. So they had to, so they had to dial it back. But all that does is speak to him not being ready. All that does speak to that he's not as
it has to do with no quarterback came in and balled out except for one here or there. You can probably pick one quarterback in the last 10 years of Burrow. Okay, one quarterback 10 years before that. And yeah, that's not a normal thing to come ball out your first year starting. No one comes in defenses. But every great quarterback that got the bag, none of them came out doing that.
BJ.
Jalen should have did it.
BG, listen.
Why do you think Taylor should have did it? That's
all right, listen though. That Tampa Bay game, they played all simple coverages on us. You've been seeing these coverages since high school. Cover 2, cover 3, cover 2 shell. You've been seeing them since high school.
We've seen our receivers, that star receivers, can't even break coverage at all the whole year.
Bro, he didn't throw the ball to Devontae until like the late second quarter. Like, come on. He couldn't find him.
Oh my God!
Yeah, did he run RPO? Our offense was pathetic. We ran 6 plays.
He ran that offense in college.
6 plays a game.
He ran the same offense at Oklahoma. That
6 plays a game. How you gonna
that run pass option? He ran that at Oklahoma.
How you gonna run a football game running the same 6 plays?
But listen though,
how?
Hey, D,
this is the NFL, right?
D, you attest to this though, D.
Coordinators, right?
Hey, D, you attest to this though, right? In a run pass option offense, you can run the football, right? If you hand it off, right?
Yeah.
You hand the football off. He was pulling it every time. Why you think Miles Sanders don't got no touchdowns this year?
That's true. He had an option. He kept pulling it. He pulled
it every time.
Miles don't have a touchdown last year.
Miles don't have a touchdown because Jalen Hurts took him away from him.
How about all the times Miles Sanders ran down a field and then we put to getting Gainwell in for one play and he ran in a touchdown?
Kenny Gainwell got 3 touchdowns this year.
And they all could have been Mouse's.
Jalen Hurts, how many rushing touchdowns Jalen Hurts got? Why do you think he got that?
But a lot of them were like you're on the 2-yard line. Why not
every time? Every time. He was taking the ball out of Miles Sanders' hands.
You gotta get his.
All right, let's move forward.
Guess what? If Jalen doesn't have 10 rushing touchdowns, now everybody says he's completely trash.
If he don't got 10, that means Miles Sanders got 10. You get me?
Yeah, but Jalen,
you're gonna
say Jalen's that much more trash because he didn't have 26 touchdowns.
Look, I'm not going to get mad at him for playing football the best way he know how. I'm not going to get mad at him for doing that. But what we is going to do is hold him accountable and say he got to improve. So let's move the conversation forward, right? You know, how does he improve? By putting more talent around him, right? How do you guys feel about going after Devontae Parker, given the fact that he's the odd man out in Miami?
I'm fine with it. Big body receiver. He can win those possessions, 50-50 balls. That's the kind of wide receiver we need in this offense to pair with Devontae Smith and Quez Watkins. I'm fine with it. I would actually want to go after this dude, man, because he needs to get out of Miami. He's been dying over there for years. Now, you put him in a fresh situation. Bro, you put him in a fresh situation, new quarterback, new scheme. I mean, just a fresh city. I feel like this dude could still be a dog in this league. I mean, people forget who Devontae Parker is. Devontae Parker been playing with horrible quarterbacks his whole career. He's been playing with horrible quarterbacks.
Right. He had a crappy Tannehill. He had Tannehill when he was trash.
And his best year was with Ryan Fitzpatrick. He had what? Then at 1,300 receiving yards.
Yeah, he had 1,200 some change.
Because what Fitzpatrick do? He gonna give you opportunity to go get the football, right?
He was letting it rip. They cooked us that year, remember?
He was letting it rip, bro. But
Bro, Devontae Parker, Moss, Mills, and Rodney McLeod at the same time, the same play. I'm like, damn. But yeah, he's 6'3", 219, 6'3", 219. He definitely the type of wide receiver we need, like especially when we think about it from this perspective. Also, Devontae Smith, he gives you route running and separation at wide receiver. Quez Watkins gives you that speed. Now you got a Devontae Parker type, 6'3", 219, gives you that possession, contested catch wide receiver that can move the chains, and that's what we're missing. We're missing that big body that can move the chains on a regular basis at the wide receiver position.
So what I really want to know is, do the Philadelphia Eagle fans want Quez to be something, or they don't want him to be something?
We definitely want him to be something.
At the end of the day, because
I feel like the whole city loves Quez Watkins.
Quez is going to 3.
I'm cool with that.
3's not. I'm
cool with that.
You cool with that?
It's number 3's getting paid out here. Byron Pringle has got a good check. Who else has got a check? Brian Skinner's got a 3-year deal. It's number 3's getting paid. It's what you do with your opportunity. Listen. Guess what? BG. Guess what? We're not worried about. No, listen. I'm gonna tell you this right now, right? You so concerned about Quez getting his looks, right? Why are you so concerned? Because why we're not throwing that ball the way we should, right? If we was throwing that ball the way we should, we won't be worried about guys getting their touches because
Jalen's gonna throw that ball the way he needs to throw it this year.
Listen though, because think about it. The Chiefs, for example, right? And we're not talking about talent. We're talking about just the amount of guys they got on that team that they feeding. They had Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, Byron Pringle, Sammy Watkins. They was feeding all of them, and guys were still getting. McCall Hardman and guys were still eating because they were in a pass happy offense, right? They didn't really have a running game for. They was in a pass happy offense because they got somebody that can throw that rock and deliver the rock to everybody. So my thing is, I'm not worried about Quez Watkins getting his touches because if Jalen Hurts is doing what I think he's going to do, the ball going to go to him.
Right.
The only way we're concerned if Quez Watkins not getting, the only way we're concerned about Quez Watkins not getting the touches if we're not throwing that ball.
That's the thing I'm saying. Like
that's not. He's never gonna be a star. He's never gonna be a star. Like never. Let's get over it.
To be a good receiver
he's never gonna be a star. He's never gonna be a star.
Why do you say that?
Because it's a pecking order in this league. My guy, it's a pecking order in the NFL. It's a pecking order, and he's not it. It's a pecking order. He fast. He could do a lot of great things in a straight line, but he's not a refined route runner. Let's keep it all the way a buck. And it's a pecking order at the end of the day. It's okay being a number 2, number 3 in this league. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Everybody can't be stars.
Saying this guy should be a star because and Jalen missed him. That's why he's not a star. You know, but if you go get another receiver that's better than him, he's never going to be a star. That's what I'm saying.
Bro,
no,
it's not that.
No, BG, no.
It's not that many stars anyway.
I'm not even saying he's not gonna be a star. I'm saying this. You go get another receiver. Now you got Quez Watkins going against number 3 corner safeties, linebackers.
He gonna eat.
Better matchups. He can eat. He really can eat. Now you're taking pressure off a lot of dudes. Huh?
So he can be a Gallup.
Gallup was a number 2 over there, to be honest. I feel like the way Gallup played football, he was better than Amari Cooper to me.
Before CD got there, Gallup was number 2 for sure.
Lamb balled out and Gallup filled in. He was a 3.
Receiver.
Yeah. It's that situation is kind of unique because it was games where CD was number 2 and Gallup was number 3, and they was kept alternating. Amari was number 1, without a doubt. But that's a unique situation because Gallup and CD, it was some games Gallup was the man, some games CD was the man. You know what I mean? So let's just keep it 100. Like at the end of the day, if we're not concerned about Jalen Hurts getting that rock to everybody, Quez gonna get his. And if Quez, and my thing is, if Quez number 3 wide receiver behind Devontae Smith and Devontae Parker, he gonna be open all day.
All day.
That's fact.
Don't you want that?
That's facts.
And then with stuff like that, though, BG, look, with stuff like that, you don't have to relegate Devontae Smith to a side. He can play out of the slot. he can play left, he can play right, because you got other dudes that can fill in and make some noise in them other positions. So it makes the offense 100% better, though. I promise you.
Dude, I like
the offense 100% better.
Because Quez speed is dangerous. Like teams don't listen. Listen, we seen Quez do what he did as a number.
Really like Parker, actually.
Like Quez's numbers this past season was perfect number 3 numbers. Let's be real. He didn't like now he should have had more touchdowns. He dropped that touchdown in that Denver game. I feel like I ain't gonna lie, if he catch that touchdown, that changed the trajectory of how we see him. I'm gonna be honest.
He should have had more targets, period.
Should have had more targets. But we was force feeding guys and Jalen Reagor. You know, and then you gotta remember Dallas Goedert on the field too. So Quez not going to get he just not gonna get as many looks as you probably would like. At the end of the day, here's the pecking order right now as it stands.
But we argued all last year that Quez needs more looks.
Yeah, because we did, and then he overtook Jalen Reagor as the number 2, and we kept force feeding Devontae at times. And listen, it got to a point in the season where Devontae Smith and Dallas Goedert were the only guys we were targeting, and then we would throw the ball to Quez every now and again. But that goes back to the point that Jalen Hurts needs to be able to go through his progressions and find an open guy, because it's plenty of times Quez Watkins was beating his man. They can't keep up with him every play. He's too fast. So it's plenty of times he was open, but Hurts didn't make it through all his progressions to find him, because 9 times out of 10, Quez Watkins is not the second option on the play. He's probably the 3rd or 4th.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So if Hurts having a hard time getting past his second read, you know how Quez gonna benefit? You feel what I'm saying? Because he couldn't get past.
To be honest, he had a hard time getting past his first read.
I was trying to be generous, bro. I was trying to be generous. Like,
There you go.
One read and then run.
There you go.
One read and run.
Oh, okay. One read quarterback thing.
Listen, you gotta call it how we see it, man.
You seen it with your own eyes too, though, BG. That's the crazy part.
In the beginning,
with your own eyes.
I see him go through his whole progression.
What? Show me one play where Jalen Hurts scanned the field.
Oh
my God!
Yo, I can't take you serious. Yo, he said, "Oh."
Show me one play where Jalen Hurts stood back there. Oh, he not open. He not open. Check down. You never seen
that
it.
happened at the end
Never.
of the season. Y'all didn't see that. So basically,
the problem was
the real question is: did any one of you two see Jalen Hurts develop throughout the season? And that will give you my true stance of what you guys think.
Say that again.
Did any one of you see him develop throughout the season?
I didn't see him develop. I seen the
past the first read quarterback stuff.
Very interesting point, Trey. Very interesting point, Trey. It wasn't necessarily like he's no. Listen, here's the problem with Hurts. Here's the problem, and let's be honest, BG. The moment he'll take a step forward, he'll take 2 steps back.
Exactly.
That was the problem. You know what I'm saying? Like that was the issue. He'll have games like the Denver game, and then all of a sudden he'll do what he did against the Giants. That can't happen. That can't happen.
Perfect quarterback out there. Did Aaron Rodgers have bad games last year? Did Tom Brady not have bad games last year?
That's beyond a bad game.
That's have 6 bad games in the beginning of the season.
That's beyond a bad game.
The best high-paid quarterbacks in the league.
That's beyond a bad game.
They can't have a bad game.
That's beyond the bad game, bro. That's beyond that. That's not showing up. He left his cleats at home.
Get out of there. And
that's beyond a bad game.
And he still showed up.
That's beyond a bad game.
That were dropped. You got to talk about the game that he threw.
Listen. And L Trey, you know what drops cold for? Drops is cold for excuses, man. Like, come on, man. Come on, man.
Excuses?
Come on, yes, bro.
Hey, BG, tell me this though, BG.
Dropping the end zone wide open is an excuse?
BG,
what happened to the first 3 quarters, bro?
Exactly where it needs to go. Exactly. He got it where it needs to go on those 3 plays.
Hey, BG.
And if either one of the 3 plays catch the ball,
BG, how many times we was beyond the 50-yard? How many times we was beyond the 50-yard line and couldn't score in that game? How many times? The whole game.
We
The
had
whole game, bro. The whole game. They scored. The Giants scored on us because Jalen Hurts threw a stupid interception. They wouldn't even score a touchdown on us that game. Come on, BG. You can't use that game. You can't reference that game at all. He played hard. He played hard.
That was the worst game of his career.
That even in a non-perfect game, when it came down to crunch time, Jalen put the ball where it needed to be and it wasn't successful. By the receiver.
Shouldn't have been that though.
It shouldn't have.
Blowing them dudes
but that's
out.
what it was. That's how the game played out. That's football.
And why did it play out that way? Why did it play out that way? Because you can't blame the defense. Why did it play out that way?
I'm not. We had a bad
why
game.
You can't just admit it? That's all I want to hear.
I never said he had a bad game.
Why you can't just admit it?
I'm just referencing towards the point. A quarterback had a bad game, right? And we all
That's beyond bad, bro. That's beyond bad, bro. That's beyond, bro.
Bad game, right?
That's third string
But the last drive that could won the game he made, and it wasn't made by the playmakers. Not Jalen. Those balls were perfect.
Why would he tank that game though, Drew Johnson? That don't even make sense. Come on, bro.
No, I think he's just trying to say he was that bad. Like he just tanked, bro. He was crap. Yeah. Oh no. I don't think Drew trying to say he gave it away. No. But I think he just trying to say it was so bad. Like he just tanked, bro.
That was third string quarterback type game.
Yeah, for real.
But if he scores a touchdown, on those last two drives, we went by 2 touchdowns. It's not third string quarterback type game. It's easy what happened after the fact that the balls were dropped. It's easy to look, oh, that was a super horrible game, my God. But I promise you, we win that game. No one's talking so much about it.
Listen, I'll be honest.
They're still talking about it.
Even if
three dumb interceptions. No one about that game as much as they do that we didn't win. Facts.
Listen, I'm telling you. Listen, I'm telling you. If we win that game,
that perfectly thrown ball that hits the top of his helmet, that perfectly thrown ball, boom, touchdown, Jalen Hurts.
But he didn't. So now what?
Right? But right? If he catches that perfectly thrown,
I'm gonna be honest. No, listen, I'm being honest. Listen, I'm gonna be honest with you.
No one's tripping off that game anymore.
Listen, no, I am tripping off. You wanna know why? Because it's the Giants. You should never been in that position. It's the Giants. It's the Giants, bro. You supposed to drop 40 on their head.
He was in the red zone 3
times.
It's a
division game. Wilder things can happen in division games.
It's the Giants, bro.
It wasn't wild though. That's the crazy part. The game had no business being that close.
None.
Like at all. And there's no reason. No reason.
And you gotta say Nick called a perfect game too.
I mean,
I'm not saying that.
In position to win.
Actually, let's be honest. Let's be honest. It's hard to tell because Jalen Hurts, all his interceptions was on his own undoing. He forced every interception. It was dumb. It was throwing in double coverages. Listen, you're in the red zone. You're in the red zone right before halftime start. You could kick a field goal at just protect the ball. You kick a field goal. Like you forcing the ball for no reason. It didn't make any sense. It didn't make any sense.
Attacking me about it because I agreed.
That was a horrible pass. That one they threw when we was backed up at our 10.
That he still put in a position to win that horrible game.
I can't wait till the season start. I can't wait because in the off season, right? We got to stretch these topics, but once the season start, BG. I'm telling you, man. Look, because I want him to do well. I want him to do well.
Third season, baby. What?
I'm still carrying it. I'm still carrying it. But I want him to do well, bro. I want it to happen. I don't want him to be bad because when he do. We ain't got no choice. We ain't got no choice. The season didn't start yet.
Chalk it up to being the first year starter. I did it. I chalk it up to being your first year starter. Hey. It wasn't.
That don't mean I can't talk about it though.
You did some good things. Now let's see what you do year 2.
That don't mean we can't talk.
I just want to say this: the way Jalen Hurts play football, he's not going to be in this league long, bro. To be honest, he's not going to be in this league long the way he play football. Either he's going to blow some shit out, or somebody going to make him blow some shit out.
How? Jalen's
What
like the
you
smartest
mean?
running quarterback in the league.
He already had an
runs
injury
out of
and he got
bounds.
surgery.
He does freaking
He already got an injury and he already got an injury, had to get surgery.
man.
First year start, already had to get surgery. His style of play has to change if he's going to last.
He's not a lot smarter than Carson Wentz when he was running the ball.
We're not talking about Carson Wentz.
Carson Wentz wasn't running the ball, though. He was getting hit.
Jalen, how many times you see a baseball slide? How many times you see him run out of bounds?
And I saw him get hit hard a lot of times, too, for no reason. I saw him get hit hard. I saw him try to challenge DBs and linebackers and stuff, too. So
listen, Jalen,
like 225.
but you a quarterback.
Little DBs and cornerbacks.
But you're a quarterback. You don't need to take those hits for no reason. You're a quarterback. You got to stand the test of time.
Slide, get out of bounds. That's all you gotta do.
Most of the time he did.
Russell Wilson never got. I never seen Russell Wilson get hit hard in this league.
The whole spot of football. You gotta make plays, and he's a playmaker.
But it's different. It's a difference between
make the play with your arm. Make the play with your arm.
No, not even that, Tom. It's a difference between taking that hit on a first and 10, or taking that hit on a 4th down and 3 where you really need it. He's taking unnecessary hits. Like there's no point. Now the game on the line. I want to see Jalen put his head down and get that first down, but not every play though. Like, come on, bro.
And we see him first 10. He runs 10 yards and slides. First down, let's go. Move the change. He did it a lot last year. I don't know how.
I'm not saying no. You're missing the point. You're missing the point. You're missing the point. No. You're missing the point, BG. You're missing the point. BG, you're missing the point. The bottom line is his style of play is volatile, and he already had an injury, and he already missed get. And we're not debating his intelligence. We're debating the fact. I don't think it
had anything to do how he played the season when he was running the ball. Like that was just like
why wouldn't it? Why didn't it?
Like, it's football, my guy.
He had to get surgery. It wasn't a tweak.
You get hit.
It wasn't like he just rolled it. He had to get surgery, bro.
Minor surgery.
Listen, you went to sleep. You got surgery. You had to go under the knife.
They put you on that table, yep.
So my point is,
you can't say that all the quarterbacks that run, they don't do it at a more. I feel like he does it.
Listen, the same thing go for. Listen, bro, the same thing go for Josh Allen. The same thing go for Josh Allen. He gonna have to start running too. Mm-hmm. Josh Allen run.
You think he gonna stop?
Bro. Them hits already starting to add up. He missed hella games this past season. It's adding up. It's the reason why it's the reason why his contract didn't get done yet. It's a reason.
Burrow wasn't running though when he got his knee busted. He was in the pocket.
He just got smacked.
Yeah, he just got smacked.
Actually, his offensive lineman just fell on him.
Yeah, he fell on top of him. Yeah, that's different.
Accidents happen. That's what happened when it hurts.
But no, it's not a freak accident when you put yourself in that position.
Y'all know what play he hurt himself? I'm pretty sure no one knows what play it was because we all thought he was healthy and held back into the season.
Bro, it had to be. Is
that not a fact? We all thought he was
listen. We could pinpoint it. Yo, listen, we could pinpoint it. I'm gonna tell you how. We could pinpoint it. We can kind of pinpoint it a little bit. We could pinpoint it. Hold on.
I know there's a lot of plays I saw him get clinked and then get up fast.
All right, let's see. It was after that Giants game. You wanna know why? Because think about this. From the Detroit matchup all the way until the New York Giants matchup, he was putting I put it to you like this, right? I'm gonna start from one. No, listen. I'm gonna start from. He missed the Jets game. Perfect. I'm gonna start from.
Giants. He got hurt.
I'm gonna start from where we start running the ball heavy. We was running the ball heavy once we played Detroit, right? So,
yeah, that's the first time.
So in the Detroit game, he ran for 71 yards. Chargers game, 62 yards. Denver game, 55 yards. New Orleans game, 69 yards. In my opinion, his best running performance of the year. Mm-hmm. Then the New York Giants game, 77 yards. Then he missed the Jets game. It happened in the Giants game because he was trying to make stuff happen. We was down. He was trying to make stuff happen. And, bro, that's when it happened. Mm-hmm. And then after that game, he only ran for 38 yards against Washington. And he tweaked it again. Then in the Giants game after that, he only ran for 7 yards. And then the Washington game after that ran for 44 yards. So he didn't play in that final game because they knew he nursing it. He was nursing it all season. They was cortisoning his ankle up. Then he knew he had to get surgery.
My point of it is y'all don't know what play it was to be like, oh, that's the play that Hurts got hurt on because he was running the ball.
I'm pretty sure it was the one that was he's running around.
Well, Hurts don't get sacked like that.
He don't really get sacked.
Hurts don't get sacked like that. Bro, Hurts only got sacked
because he's running out the pocket.
Bro, listen.
He got up, he's like, oh, my ankle.
Hurts only got sacked 26 times, bro. Hurts only got sacked 26 times.
Hard as heck at the end of that Giants game. You can see it.
Bro,
that's when
Hurts he only got sacked 26 times the whole season. That's an average of 1.7 sacks per game. He don't get sacked because he's running.
He's running out the pocket all the time.
The sack only count for a sack if you're behind the line of scrimmage. Once he go behind the line of scrimmage, he putting his body on the line.
No, but what I'm saying is y'all don't know the play. Like, how do you know it wasn't off of a sack? The lineman fell on his leg and hurt his ankle. Like, you don't know that.
Happened, though. It really
you don't know that. You don't know if it was off of him scrambling and get hit. No one knows.
He was running, BJ.
How you know? What's the play?
He was running. I know he was running for a fact. I know he was running.
Because he being facetious. It's all right. It's all right.
Sacked in that Giants game. He barely got hit behind the pocket in that Giants game.
It could have been a sack. It could have been whatever. No one knows because no one knows what play it was. We didn't even know our quarterback was hurt for like 3 games.
Bro, in that Giants game, he got sacked one time.
He got sacked once in that Giants game. And I remember the sack, too, because it wasn't no sack. It was like he tripped and the ball touched him. So it was like, bro, he got to change his playing style. I ain't going to say change it completely, but he can't be that run heavy, though, because he's not going to last in this league. I promise you. You see Lamar Jackson now. Lamar Jackson is beat up now.
It's adding up. Say it again.
Who calls him?
Who called him?
Who called him?
You do understand RPO means you got the option to run the football, right? So he can easily hand the football off. That could have been 15 rushes right there. He wanted to take it in his own hands. That's his problem. I mean, it don't matter what he ran RPOs at Oklahoma.
Did he?
That's their whole offense.
He threw for over 4,000 yards in Oklahoma.
It's still
but in college he was RPOing it up in Oklahoma.
RPO, and he had one read. He was a one read quarterback in college, and who he's throwing it to? CD Lamb.
The problem was he never was challenged in college in terms of his quarterback ability.
Yeah, they don't play defense in that conference at all. You look at the games; they be like 65-70 every game.
Because you know what these coaches doing in college? They're looking at what you do well and they maximizing the hell out of it. They're not trying to really turn you to a complete quarterback. That's why
coach does too. They look at your skills, the good ones, the good offense coordinators. That's what they do. Look at your skills and try to maximize it.
But also, if they see what you have, they're gonna be like, okay, this young man got to expand his game. Like at a certain point, you see what he do. You gauge you get this season was a perfect example, as a matter of fact. You gauge what he able to do. They tried it early in the season to see if he can throw that rock. Okay, this not happening, this not working. All right, we got to turn him into a one read RPO, make him comfortable in his offense. They had to simplify the offense because he couldn't go through all the progressions.
Same thing they did to Nick Foles.
Yep.
And why do you think Nick Foles dropped? Because they turned it into like a run pass option.
I don't think it was that. I think he was stronghold of thinking he was this offensive genius that could come in like Dougie P did at the end when he was throwing 40 passes a game and thought that he was going to just light up the world with his passing attack and had to realize you have to run the ball first.
I don't even think it was that. I think it was a test run, DJ.
Run the ball, test run. Opened up the pass. Run the ball, open up the pass. Not pass. We didn't run the ball. That's not all on Hurts.
Bro, that was I think it was more of a test run than anything to see what Jalen Hurts could do, to be honest.
I'm telling you, they was trying to see can he win with his arm. They was trying listen, and then they realized, okay, this not cutting.
Win with his arm? What? They was trying to be coaches think that he's gonna just be this freaking Aaron Rodgers, his first year start, or this freaking Joe Burrows, or freaking one of these cats, this first year start. That's dumb. That's not smart.
You gotta
see what your quarterback can do though.
P had him.
You gotta see what he can do though.
Did he not look good? You gotta see that way. When Dougie B had him, did he not play good? Dougie B
played okay. He played okay in what? He played 4 games. He played okay in 2 of them. He didn't play astonishing or nothing. He played okay.
His best game was definitely that Cardinals game, without a doubt.
His best game really was that New Orleans game. To be honest, that New Orleans game.
I see the Denver game because of Denver. Oh wait, you talking about New Orleans last? You talking about last season? Last season, you talking about his first season?
His first start.
Oh yeah.
That was his best game. The Cardinals game, he played okay in that Cardinals game. He didn't play like lights out.
He had over 350 yards passing.
That's fine though, but that's receivers making plays. That's not really Jalen Hurts. He didn't make no like crazy throws.
Oh my God, he gets the big numbers. He's still not him. He doesn't get the numbers. It is him. Get out of here with that.
Oh, all right.
Jalen was in a shootout. Our defense lost that game.
Okay.
Did it not?
Which game you talking about? Which game you talking about?
The Cardinals game.
No, the Cardinals game. He was slinging it. I'll give him that. I would give him that. I would definitely give him that. But at the end of the day,
like on some real, and I'm gonna keep it all the way 100. Some dudes are just gonna be who they are. You hear me? I watched Jalen Hurts since high school. Some dudes is just gonna be who they are. He always been a one-read quarterback. He never really had to go through progressions. He always was the best athlete on the field.
Because his first read was the best receiver on the team.
What do that mean, though?
Of course, you want to get the ball to your best receiver.
It's not going to be like that in the NFL, though. It's not going to be like that in the NFL.
If you don't got good receivers, of course it's going to be that way.
So he don't got no good receivers, like at all. Like they all just trash. You was just taking up for these dudes. You was just taking up for these dudes like 10 minutes ago. Now all his receivers trash. Come on,
I said that you got to understand our growth process. The jump that Quez took from year 1 to 2, you got to expect him to take that jump this year. But as far as last year, he wasn't a elite receiver or not like that.
Carson Wentz never played with an elite receiver in his career. Carson Wentz never played with an elite receiver in his Eagles career. So what you saying?
And threw for over 4,000 yards.
Alshon was a Pro Bowler when he came over here.
Alshon wasn't even a top 15 wide receiver, bro. To be honest,
Torrey Smith was a Pro Bowler.
Who?
I think
Torrey Smith. Come on, man. We gotta make it make sense.
Oh man, that's funny, yo. Oh my God.
Was a man, though. He was cool.
Oh, listen, man, y'all crazy. I gotta get out of here soon. We gotta wrap this joint up a little bit. He crazy. You heard it? He said, "I think."
I love it. I love it.
Oh my God. Yo, it's yo, I ain't gonna lie, man. They fun as hell because at the end of the day, right? We all want Jalen Hurts to really just ball out. That's what we all really want.
And I just want him to get the goddamn respect.
He got it. He got respect. Listen. How long you going? Listen, my thing is, it's called the NFL for a reason, right? Not for long. So listen, you could live off that. You can live off your them little plays, initially, but once the offseason start, that don't mean nothing.
I already told you guys, if you don't do it this year, now it's after all this love you see, this passion you see from BG, it's gonna be out the door. Now it's not your first year starting; it's your second year starting. If you're doing the same garbage, we need a new quarterback.
That's a fact, man. That's a fact. But yeah, man, you guys I had a lot of fun in this live stream, my man. Like they call us the Bird Brains for a reason because it get wild. We go hard in the paint. It get crazy in this John. So, man, I really appreciate y'all, fellas. This was a hell of a show. Any final words? Any final words before we get out of here?
I mean, go ahead, BJ.
No, go ahead. I'm good. Go ahead.
At the end of the day, man, this team gonna be what this team is. I feel like we at the point where we're not really gonna make a splash. Everything else really gonna be filled in by small time free agents and in draft picks. So I mean, we just gonna have to make it work this year. And it's a good thing that the NFC not really that strong this year. I mean, you still got the Rams, Tampa Bay, Green Bay. I mean, they gonna be who they are, but everybody is shifting over to the AFC, man. It's crazy. It's getting crazy out here. So, I mean, at the end of the day, I just want to see my team succeed. And no matter what we argue about on this thing, it's all love. It's always all love, man. All love.
Yes, sir. And what I'm saying is, like, it's not over. Even that Super Bowl run, all the players that we got that made it happen, the Holtz, the Jayes, the LeGarrette Blount, that came after the draft, guys. How he's not done yet? We just see all the big numbers guys go out early, so we get all impatient. Chill out. Enjoy your off season. It's not over yet. It's not over. You know, we still got the draft. We still got 3 first-round picks, 4 in the top 30. I'm at 36 or something like that. So come on. Let's see.
4 in the top 20. 4 in the top. Well, three in the top 20. 4 in the top 30. 4 in the top 40, something like that. I don't know.
40, something like that.
I think we got 6 in the top 60. So
yeah,
I mean, that's a lot of draft picks.
That's a lot of good talent.
I ain't gonna lie, man. If Howie messed it up,
let's
y'all.
see what happens. And then always after the draft, some key players leave because they draft players to replace them. So let's see that second wave of free agency. You know what happens? Let's give it some time. I know we wanted the big names off the jump. I wanted some of them. I still want Honey Badger. He's out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't mind Devontae Parker to come over here. You know, to make trade for him. I wouldn't mind DK coming over here still. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying there's still a lot of time left before football. We can't get our panties in a bunch early. We got to chill out and let this play out and see what happens.
Facts, y'all. So, man, on that note, super appreciative of everybody being in the live stream. Y'all kept it active. Y'all kept it entertaining. And, you know, there's nothing really more to say, but make sure you guys smash those like buttons. Make sure you guys
like pages. Go hit them.
Yep.
Go subscribe.
Yep. Exactly.
Any of us, make sure you get out there and subscribe to all of us. We are all growing fast. We're giving you that fire every single week. We're going to bring it to you. So make sure you support all of us and go hit that subscribe button.
Most definitely. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button. Make sure you guys share the content. Tell your kids, tell your wife, tell your friends, tell your family, tell your coworkers. Listen, the Bird Brains podcast is in full effect. I was joined by the good brother, BIRDGANG 31, one Trey Rock, and yours truly, Tone DeShields II from Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game.
Yes,
one
sir.
love, stay humble, stay healthy, and most importantly, stay hungry. And we out of here, y'all. Peace out.
Peace.